Is The Last of Us the new post-apocalyptic drama you've been waiting for? Or is it just another crappy PS3 exclusive? Find out in this Last of Us review! The Last of Us is about Joel. Joel is this, like, you know, he's a tough guy. You know, he's not gonna take shit from anybody. He's a badass, you see. And his partner Tess, have been given this job to escort this girl, Ellie, across the country. And Ellie has a special trait that I'm not gonna spoil for you, even though you're probably gonna figure out in the beginning of the game. And you will also figure out why Joel is such a badass. But I'm not gonna spoil anything. This is a spoiler-free review, and the story is amazing. The Ellie and Joel, like, are one of the characters in this game are the most humanized characters I have ever met in a video game. They felt like these people would have actually been real, and if like the Last of Us situation were infected, were created, but they're not like zombies. But were like that. These people would exist. Like.
Okay, we need to lighten the mood. Ready? It doesn't matter how much you push the envelope, it'll still be stationary.
What is that?
It's a joke book. No pun intended. Volume 2 by Will Livingston.
Let's keep going.
What did the Confederate soldiers use to eat off of? Civilware.
Uh-huh.
What did they use to drink with? Cups. Dixie cups. I walked into my sister's room and tripped on a bra. It was a booby trap. A book just fell on my head. I only have myself to blame. Or wait, I said it wrong. Hold on, let me read it again. A book just fell on my head. I only have my shelf to blame. I ruined it. What is the leading cause of divorce in long-term marriages? A stalemate.
That's awful.
You're awful.
Do you even understand what that means?
Nope. Doesn't matter. Okay, I'm all joked out. Now what?
Oh, Joel, I totally meet a Joel, or I don't know what an Ellie. I don't know if I'm gonna meet a 14-year-old who swears more than Duke Nukem in his video game, but you know, they interact like real humans. Like Naughty Dog is like, you know, let's make people humans this time, not just computer AIs that we put voices in. So yeah, when you go through this game, you will meet a pretty good amount of people, and you will interact with them, either friend or foe, and it's really interesting how Joel acts towards Ellie and how Ellie acts Joel throughout the story, which is probably one of the game's main thing that keeps it like really like 10 out of 10 material, is that it's interaction with each other and how Ellie and Joel grow in their relationship and stuff. And the gameplay. Let's get to the gameplay, the most bullshit part about this game. But there are a bunch of glitches with the gameplay, like when you're sneaking around, like your AI teammates will just run past them. It's like, you know, they don't care. They don't get you spotted, so it's a good thing, but it's also, this is one of the most immersed games I've ever played, too, so that kind of takes out the immersion out of it. And the melee CQB is so buggy that it made me want to shut off my PS3 a couple of times. It also makes me want to give it a 9.5 sometimes, but you know, the gameplay is not the highlight of this game. It's definitely the story. The story is flawless. I can't go in too much into depth unless I wanted to spoil things. Then I could get into how good the story is and spoilers and stuff. But I'm not doing that. It's for you guys to experience if you need to experience this game. Yeah, the gameplay is crap. Well, it's not crap, but it's polished, but it's buggy as hell, in my opinion. Other people might have a different experience with it, but in the gameplay you have guns, you have revolvers, you have guns, a pistol. There are a variety of guns. I can name off the top of my head. There's a flamethrower, there's a bow and arrow, there's a shotty pistol. What's cool about the game is that you can't have all of you don't just carry 2 weapons, you carry all your weapons on you. But the ones that you have hot fixed are the ones you have holsters for. So if you wanted to have a revolver and a normal pistol out, then you would have to craft you have to have 2 holsters crafted for them, and then you would have those 2 pistols on your holster. So that's cool. Like you don't go into a post-apocalyptic area. It's like, oh, I can't carry this. I have to have 2 guns. It's like, no, it makes sense. Like you keep the rest of your guns in your backpack and 2 somewhere in your holster so that you can just take it out right away. And if you want to take out those guns, you have to go into your backpack. Another thing about The Last of Us that is very critical is, for gameplay-wise, is the crafting system. You have things to craft like smoke bombs, what is it? Metal bombs. It's this bomb that it shoots metal and stuff. You meet a character that introduces you to these bombs that he's created. Even though you can find them across the world, which doesn't make any sense, but doesn't really matter. You can also craft shivs. Shivs are a very important thing if you want to get rid of the infected clickers. The clickers are so annoying and overpowered. Well, they're not overpowered, but sometimes they're really annoying. And you can also craft med packs and all the other stuff. Basic crafting system. Well, it's not really basic. It's something different. But you go into your backpack, you find ingredients around the world, and then you craft it in your backpack. And sometimes you might have to craft in battle. So there's a little strategy in the game. Also, you have the workbench. You can upgrade your weapons. Upgrade, and you would find salvage. It's just like Tomb Raider. That's what I thought of it. And another thing is there's no cover button. It's all auto cover, which works very well. I was very pleased with the cover, and the enemy AI was very good as well. Other than that, they can't spot your teammates when they're literally in front of them. Also, Joel and, well, I guess I don't have to spoil it. Joel and Ellie have listening abilities where they can see through walls, and yeah, where it's basically like a little help. It's basic. It's X-ray vision. That's all I could say. Yeah, and that's really it. There's a variety of weapons, crafting, all this stuff. It's fun to play, but sometimes it kind of gets annoying when the melee system does not work. You can also pick up melee weapons that will break over time, or you can upgrade them. You can craft stuff for them. Really cool. But other than that, the gameplay is I don't know, not that eye-popping except for the crafting system and the holster system. I thought that was cool, and I liked the really good cover system. A lot of games are getting that right, the auto cover system, like Tomb Raider. Yeah. So another part of The Last of Us that I should talk about is multiplayer. Multiplayer is a great addition to this game. It really, with this amazing single player and this great multiplayer, you are really getting your bang for your buck, because the multiplayer is very well done. It's taking a lot of the aspects from single player into multiplayer. Like, you have to craft your stuff. You have very limited ammo, like you do in the single player, like very limited there. You have to find salvage to craft items. Like, you can craft almost everything in the single player. You can craft everything in the single player. I mean, everything in multiplayer that you could in multiplayer. It's there's also this little story with it that I don't really get, but it's very addicting. I would play it a lot if I still have my PS3. But yeah, the multiplayer is very well done. It's not just attack on multiplayer. It's a lot of strategy, and it's fun to play with friends. I've seen a lot of people come into my lobby. They're all having fun, and I'm just here alone, but whatever. So The Last of Us is a very well done game. The story and music really ties it all together. It's one of the most immersed games I have ever played. It really does make you feel like you're alone, and everything has gone to shit, and that when Naughty Dog's made a great game, but all I have to say is that it is overrated. I do not believe that it is the best game of the generation, or it is the best game of all time, because it has its quirks, just like BioShock Infinite. Even though I love BioShock, I think I will pick it for Game of the Year this year. But The Last of Us is a great game, 10 out of 10. That you should buy it. It is a great game to experience, but I think that other games do what The Last of Us is doing better. Cough, Walking Dead, no offense. But this is just my opinion. If you guys really don't like it, just don't mind it. If you love it as much as you do, then don't let me get in the way. But I just think it's overrated. But yeah, I gave it a 10 out of 10, and I think you guys should buy it. And thanks for watching this review. Goodbye.